Hello everyone. As always, I want to thank you for visiting my channel and watching my videos. Today we'll be working with Wilcom's digital edition version of the software. Today we're going to learn how to properly import in a DST file or any machine stitch data file into the Wilcom workspace. As we work with designs on a daily basis, we often open up files from our USB sticks. We want to open those files up, and lots of times they send us DST files or stitch data files. These files are particularly designed for the embroidery machines themselves. We want to be able to open up these files correctly inside the Wilcom workspace in order to edit these particular files. This design that I'm going to open up momentarily here, I want to be able to go in and I want to be able to change the size of this design, and I want to be able to edit this file, save this, and send this to my production. I'm going to open up the files here. Whenever you install the Wilcom software, whether on a new computer or whether you are reinstalling it on an existing computer, normally this is how a user is going to open up the design that they're working with inside the software. I'm going to navigate here. I'm going to choose my file drop menu, and I'm going to choose Open Design. Here I have my machine stitch data files. What I'm going to do here for this one, I want to just select this just to click it, just to select it. And I'm going to navigate down to Open. And this is what most people do once they've installed their software. Once I choose Open, my design is going to pop up on my page here. There's a problem with this design. The problem is, directly looking at it right away, I notice what the color object list looks like. The color object list here is going to show you the object types that you have inside the software. It's also going to show you location. It's going to also show you the number of stitches in each of those items here. Very important docker here to have displayed. What you also see here is you see red lines with black dots on them here. This is not good. The reason why this is not good is because when I bring in a file, I want to be able to go in and edit that file. I want to be able to go in and try to adjust the size of the design. Because it is a DST file, I can increase or decrease the size, or I should be able to increase or decrease that size of the design by 15 or 20%. Once I go in, and let's say that I'm going to just select an object here inside my color object list, and I want to see what this looks like. I'm going to roll my mouse button forward here, and I want to be able to edit. Let's say I'm looking at the wheels here, and they're kind of pointy. So I want to go in and I want to make these curved here so that my tires actually look like tires. I'm going to navigate over to my toolbar here, which is your reshape tool, which allows you to reshape objects. I'm going to navigate over to my reshape mode. And as soon as I select this, look at what happens here on my workspace page. I've got all these little blue dots here on my page actually. And what this is, these are all needle penetrations. If I were to go up top here and hide my stitches, it looks just like this. Literally, in order for me to change the shape of this, I'm going to have to go in and choose every single needle penetration to do this. And I should not have to do this if I'm going to go in and do a simple edit of the design. As I navigate over, here is your manual tool here. They're manual stitches. They have no automation associated with them. What I could also do to show me exactly what type of file this is I'm looking at is I can navigate up top here. You have a tool up top here that's called Design Information. And this tool is going to show you information about your design. And this docker will go in as I select it here. My design information docker appears on my page. Here, I'm going to just click the Design tab. Now, down this list here that you have, I'm going to scroll down, and we have things that are classified as EMB grades. These EMB grades are quality related. This EMB grade here is a grade D. This is the last thing that you want to see on your page, a grade D. This means that all of my stitches in my design are needle penetrations, basically uneditable. Let me explain. I'm going to close this out here. I'm going to turn back on my stitches here for this, and I'm going to click on my pick tool. Right now, I want to go in, I want to be able to change the shape of the tires, which I can't do. And I also want to be able to increase the size of the design. And as I look here, on the left side of my screen here, I have a stitch count. And this stitch count here is telling me that there's 5,907 stitches in this design. Even at this point, if I were going to go in and increase the size of the design by going in and selecting it. Let's say that I wanted to make this, right now it's 3.5 inches. Let's say I want to make this 6 inches. And this is a bit larger because usually you have a ratio of 15 to 20%, but I just want to make this a little bit more difficult here. I'm going to change this to 6.0 and I'm going to press enter. Once I change the size of that design, on the lower left corner of my page now, this is actually 6 inches wide now. Now the stitch count is 5,910 stitches. It only added 3 stitches to this design. That's a problem. It's because this is, as we go to our design information, if we click on our design, this is an EMB grade of D. Again, this is not what you want to see on your screen ever. I'm going to close this out here. Now let's go in and I want to show you the correct way to go in and bring in a DST or a stitch data file. I'm going to close this out here. No, we don't want to save it. We've just installed the software, and this is the first design that we want to bring in and open up. That's a DST file. This time, as I navigate to my file drop menu and I choose open design, this time, and this is the proper way in which you should import in that design originally. You're going to select the design and you're going to navigate down here to the lower right corner. You have an options tab here. You're going to select options and you're going to get a pop-up here on your workspace page. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to navigate over to the lower left corner and you'll see objects as outlines. And you want to be able to, you want to click this because once you bring this file into the workspace, you want the objects to be outlines so that then you can edit the actual file itself. So I'm going to put a check as I left click here. I'm going to click OK here now. And this time, as I navigate and I choose open, let's see what this file looks like. This is very, very important. If you look at the color object list on this file here, it's dramatically changed. And this is what you want that color object list to look like. You will have some manual stitches still in the file, but for the most part, at least now, I can go in and I can edit this file now. If I navigate up top so I can test to see what type of EMB grade it is, as I left click, here under my design, now it's showing me that there's a grade C. So this is the correct EMB grade that I should see when I open up a DST or machine stitch data file in my Wilcom workspace. This is correct, and this is what you want to see here. Not only that, if I go in now, and I'm going to turn off the stitches here by going in and choosing show stitches. Now, if I select this, now if I navigate over to my reshape mode, now at least I don't have the blue dots on my page here now. I've got regular line point nodes here. And at this point, I can click one, press my control key and click the other. And now I can move this down like this. And I can use my space bar to change or to toggle from a line point to a curve point like this. At least now, when I go in and I select these items and press my space bar, here, I'll press my control key here again like this. I can move this down. Let me undo this, make sure I got both of them here. And I can just move these down like this. And I can press my space bar to toggle between a line and a curve point. This is the benefit that you have of being able to bring in that file correctly, that I can now see as I navigate up top and turn back on my stitches. I have curve points here now that I can actually go in and modify and edit this file with. What I could also do now with this is you'll have stitches here that are going to be jumping out here with these long jump stitches here. And for something like this, I could just go in and select that. I can navigate over here to my color object list, and I can see which stitch that is. And now I can just press my delete key, and you can remove any stitches that are unnecessary here. If I navigate over and I choose my reshape mode here, you can see this stitch here also. And at this point here, I can just grab this stitch and move it over like this. What I have here too is you have the connection stitches here. Once you move the stitch over, now I can select those items like this. And what I could also do now is I can navigate up top here in my object properties. And I can go to my connectors here, like you see here. I can change the inside object here to after object. And I can turn on my trim afters here. For the runs, I do want the running stitches to be at 3.8 here. I'll click back on the jump tab here. And now I can choose if next connector here. And I can change this number to a lesser number now. And now I can go in and I can remove those connection stitches now, because I'm working with a regular DST file now. This is what it offers. Let's do this. Now I'm going to select this design. This time my stitch count here is like 5,915 stitches. So let's see what happens now this time when I navigate over to my width, and I'll change this hypothetically here to 6 inches and click OK now. You can see here on the lower left side of my page here now, the stitch count now has increased to 9,222 stitches, which is what it should be. Very important as you go through. Again, you have your other items here. Once you select that item, navigate to your color object list. You see what type of item that is. And you'll see here, and this is a manual stitch. This means that I can navigate over here to my reshape mode, and I could move this stitch over here like this. And once you move that stitch over, now up top, you select that item, and you have your connectors here again like this. And you go in. The reason why these change is because it's a stitch data file now. And you have to go in and make the adjustment with this. I can turn my trim after here off, change this stitch here, or that stitch length here, or the space between this item and the other item is actually greater than 6 millimeters at this point. And it's going to add that trim there so it doesn't do a jump stitch in between those particular items. That's all for this session. As always, thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and to click on the like and share. And doing so doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps my channel. If you want to thank me directly for preparing and posting this video, then please send me a super thanks, which supports my efforts directly to bring you these videos on a regular basis. Thank you so much for your time. And as always, happy digitizing.